From singing at small village gatherings to becoming the most celebrated Queen of Chutney music, one woman changed Caribbean culture forever while raising a family and touching countless lives through her generosity. Drupatee Ramgoonai stands as a towering figure in Caribbean music history, a woman whose voice carried the rhythms and struggles of Indo-Caribbean people across the world. Born on January 5, 1958, in Penal, Trinidad and Tobago, she grew up in a rural community where sugarcane fields stretched as far as the eye could see, and Hindu traditions mixed beautifully with Caribbean culture. Her childhood was simple but filled with music, as her family often gathered to sing traditional Indian songs during religious festivals and family celebrations. Nobody knew then that this young girl with a powerful voice would one day become known as the Queen of Chutney, a title she earned through decades of hard work, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to preserving her cultural heritage through music. Drupatee's journey into music began in the most humble way possible. She started singing at local gatherings, weddings, and religious ceremonies in her village, where people immediately noticed something special about her voice. It carried emotion, power, and an authenticity that touched the hearts of everyone who heard her. In those early days, chutney music was not considered mainstream entertainment in Trinidad. It was mostly performed at private functions and religious events within the Indo-Caribbean community. The music style itself was born from the fusion of traditional Indian folk music and Caribbean rhythms, created by descendants of Indian indentured laborers who were brought to Trinidad in the 19th century. These workers maintained their cultural traditions while adapting to their new Caribbean home, and chutney music became a beautiful expression of this blended identity. When Drupatee first started performing professionally in the late 70s and early 80s, she faced significant challenges. The music industry in Trinidad was dominated by Calypso and Soca, and chutney music was often looked down upon or ignored by mainstream media and radio stations. Female performers in this genre were particularly rare, as conservative attitudes within the Indo-Caribbean community sometimes discouraged women from pursuing public entertainment careers. But Drupatee possessed a determination that could not be shaken. She believed deeply in the value and beauty of chutney music and knew that it deserved recognition on the biggest stages. Her family supported her dreams, understanding that her talent was too remarkable to be confined to small village gatherings. The turning point in Drupatee's career came in 1988 when she released a song called Mr. Bissessar with the Hiralo Rappertap Orchestra. This track became an absolute sensation across Trinidad and Tobago, breaking through barriers that had kept chutney music in the shadows for decades. The song told a humorous story about a man named Mr. Bissessar and his relationships, delivered with Drupatee's distinctive vocal style that combined classical Indian singing techniques with Caribbean energy and rhythm. Radio stations that had previously refused to play chutney music suddenly had no choice because people demanded to hear Mr. Bissessar constantly. The song became so popular that it crossed cultural boundaries, with people from all ethnic backgrounds singing along and dancing to its infectious beat. This success proved that chutney music had mass appeal and deserved a place in Trinidad's musical landscape alongside Calypso and Soca. Following the massive success of Mr. Bissessar, Drupatee released another hit called Up the Tassa, which further cemented her status as the undisputed queen of the genre. This song celebrated the Tassa drums, traditional percussion instruments that play a central role in Indo-Caribbean culture and are especially prominent during Hindu festivals like Diwali and Phagwa. The track encouraged listeners to embrace their heritage proudly and celebrate their identity through music and dance. Drupatee's music consistently carried this message of cultural pride, helping Indo-Caribbean people feel confident in expressing their traditions in a society where they sometimes felt pressured to assimilate completely into mainstream culture. Throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, Drupatee continued releasing albums and performing at major events across the Caribbean, North America, and anywhere significant Indo-Caribbean populations lived. She collaborated with various orchestras and musicians, always pushing to evolve the chutney sound while respecting its traditional roots. Her performances were legendary events, drawing thousands of fans who would sing every word back to her from the audience. She had a stage presence that was both commanding and warm, making everyone in the crowd feel like she was singing directly to them. Her concerts became family affairs where multiple generations would attend together, with grandparents, parents, and children all enjoying her music and the sense of community her performances created. Beyond her musical achievements, Drupatee's personal life reflects the values she has always promoted through her art. She married and built a strong family foundation that supported her demanding career. Balancing the life of an international performer with the responsibilities of being a wife and mother was never easy, but Drupatee managed both with grace and dedication. She has spoken in interviews about how important her family has been to her success, providing the emotional support and stability she needed to handle the pressures of fame and the constant travel that came with her career. Her husband stood beside her through the challenging early years when mainstream acceptance seemed impossible, and through the triumphant later years when she was performing to sold-out crowds across multiple continents. Drupatee and her husband raised their children with the same strong cultural values that informed her music. She made sure they understood their Indo-Caribbean heritage and appreciated the struggles their ancestors endured as indentured laborers who came to Trinidad with nothing but hope for a better future. At the same time, she encouraged them to pursue their own dreams and passions, whatever those might be. Her children grew up watching their mother break barriers and challenge stereotypes, learning valuable lessons about perseverance, cultural pride, and the importance of staying true to yourself even when others doubt you. This example shaped them into adults who carry forward the values of hard work and dedication to community that Drupatee demonstrated throughout her career. As her children grew and started families of their own, Drupatee embraced her role as a grandmother with the same enthusiasm and love she brought to everything else in her life. She finds great joy in spending time with her grandchildren, sharing stories about their heritage and teaching them songs from her extensive repertoire. For her, these moments represent the continuation of cultural transmission that has always been central to her mission. When she sings traditional songs with her grandchildren, she is passing down the same melodies that were taught to her as a child in Penal, ensuring that another generation will carry these traditions forward into the future. Drupatee's influence extends far beyond entertainment. She played a crucial role in changing how Indo-Caribbean culture was perceived both within Trinidad and internationally. Before her breakthrough success, chutney music and Indo-Caribbean cultural expressions were often marginalized or dismissed as less sophisticated than other art forms. Through her talent and determination, Drupatee proved that chutney music deserved respect and recognition as a legitimate and valuable cultural contribution. She opened doors for countless other Indo-Caribbean artists who followed in her footsteps, creating opportunities that simply did not exist before she burst onto the scene with Mr. Bissessar. Her philanthropic work has also been significant, though she tends to keep this aspect of her life relatively private. Drupatee has consistently used her platform and resources to support causes important to the Indo-Caribbean community, particularly those related to education and cultural preservation. She has performed at numerous charity events over the years, donating her time and talent to raise funds for schools, temples, and community organizations. She understands that her success came partly from the support of her community during those early struggling years, and she has always felt a responsibility to give back in meaningful ways. Education has been a particular focus of her charitable efforts because she recognizes it as the key to empowerment and opportunity for young people from all backgrounds. In addition to formal charitable activities, Drupatee has mentored younger artists throughout her career, offering guidance and encouragement to those trying to make their own mark in the music industry. She remembers how difficult it was to navigate the business side of music when she was starting out, and she wants to spare others some of those struggles by sharing the knowledge she gained over decades in the industry. Many successful chutney and soca artists today credit Drupatee with providing crucial advice or opportunities early in their careers, helping them avoid common pitfalls and make smarter decisions about their artistic direction and business partnerships. Drupatee's lifestyle reflects someone who has achieved great success, but remained grounded in the values and community that shaped her. Despite her fame and the recognition she has received, including numerous awards and honors from cultural organizations and governments, she has never forgotten her roots in rural Penal. She maintains strong connections to that community and returns regularly to visit family and participate in local events. This connection to her origins keeps her authentic and relatable, qualities that her fans have always appreciated about her. She has never adopted the pretensions or distance that sometimes come with celebrity status, instead remaining approachable and warm with everyone she meets. Her home life is centered around family and the cultural traditions that have always been important to her. She observes Hindu festivals and religious practices, finding spiritual grounding in these ancient traditions that have survived centuries of migration and adaptation. cooking traditional foods, decorating her home for festivals like Diwali, and attending religious ceremonies at her local temple are all regular parts of her life. These practices keep her connected to the deeper meanings behind the music she performs, reminding her that chutney is not just entertainment but an expression of a living, breathing culture with profound spiritual and historical significance. Even as she has gotten older, Drupatee has continued performing and recording, though perhaps at a less intense pace than during the peak years of her career. She recognizes that her voice and music still mean something special to her fans, many of whom have followed her for decades. Performing for these devoted audiences remains one of the great joys of her life, and she has no plans to completely retire from the stage. However, she has also been thoughtful about preserving her legacy and ensuring that the history of chutney music is properly documented and celebrated. She has participated in documentaries and interviews that explore the development of the genre and her role in bringing it to mainstream attention. The impact Drupatee Ramgoonai has had on Caribbean culture cannot be overstated. She took a musical form that was dismissed and marginalized and elevated it to a position of respect and popularity. She showed that Indo-Caribbean cultural expressions deserve the same attention and celebration as other cultural traditions in Trinidad's diverse society. She inspired countless young people, particularly young women, to pursue careers in music and to take pride in their cultural heritage rather than hiding it or feeling ashamed. She built bridges between different ethnic communities by creating music that anyone could enjoy while still remaining true to its Indo-Caribbean roots. Looking at her life as a whole, we see a woman who balanced multiple demanding roles with remarkable success. She was a groundbreaking artist who changed her industry forever. She was a wife who built a strong marriage that lasted through decades of challenges and triumphs. She was a mother who raised children while maintaining an international performing career. She is now a grandmother passing cultural knowledge to the next generation. She has been a philanthropist supporting important causes in her community. She has been a mentor guiding younger artists through the complexities of the music business. And through all of this, she has remained authentically herself, never compromising her values or forgetting where she came from. Drupatee's story reminds us that success is not just about individual achievement, but about lifting others as you rise. Every barrier she broke made it easier for those who came after her. Every performance that celebrated Indo-Caribbean culture helped strengthen the pride and confidence of her community. Every young artist she mentored had a better chance at success because of her generosity with her time and knowledge. This is the mark of a true legend, someone whose impact extends far beyond their own accomplishments to create lasting positive change in the world around them. Subscribe now to discover more inspiring stories of artists who change culture forever while staying true to their roots and communities.